The oceans provide 99% of the Earth's living space, the largest space in our universe known to be inhabited by living organisms. Protecting our environment and the animals that inhabit it is a challenge we all must undertake. On today's show, we will visit the Los Angeles Oiled Bird Care and Education Center, where aquatic birds are rehabilitated 365 days a year. I'm James Ramirez, and welcome to the Portfolio. It is estimated that the BP Gulf spill leaked 4.9 million barrels of oil into the Gulf, putting more than 400 species of aquatic birds at risk. In April of 2010, a team of specialists from the Oiled Bird Rescue Center worked along the Gulf Coast in an effort to rescue seabirds caught in the BP Gulf oil spill. Due to their efforts, 1,246 cleaned and healthy birds were returned to the wild. Located in San Pedro, California, I had a chance to tour the rescue center with the executive director.
I'm Paul Kelway, Associate Director of International Bird Rescue Research Center.
Hey, you must be Paul.
Hey, James.
Yeah, James, how you doing?
Good, good. Welcome to the LA Oiled Bird Center.
Thanks, I'm pretty stoked to get over here and see this place.
Yeah, well, let's take you inside and show you around.
All right. All right, so what is this place here?
Okay, so welcome to the LA Oiled Bird Center. This is actually one of two facilities in California that were built by the state basically to be here ready for an oil spill in California. So if something happened on the scale of what happened in the Gulf, in California, we'd already have these centers ready to go. Wow. And our organization, International Bird Rescue Research Center, we've been around for about 40 years. When they built these centers 10 years ago, they asked us to come in and manage these facilities on a daily basis. So our expertise and the fact that we're rescuing birds every day means that if there is an oil spill, these centers need to become a much bigger operation. We already have a trained team here ready to go.
So this is like a first responder place. When you get an emergency happens, a lot of birds, boom, they come here, you guys are ready to start working
Exactly.
on it.
Every day it's a bird rescue center, and then when there's an oil spill, it becomes an oil spill facility that the state of California has ready to go for a major event like that.
Right, right. Well, what's the process for the birds in the oil?
It's quite a complex process. We run it like a hospital. It's an emergency situation, so there's triage going on. We have to make decisions about what animals are the most critical. How do we prioritize different animals and different species? This room that we're in right now is the receiving room. So it's like an ER ward. You come in, the doctor checks, makes sure that your vital signs are okay. We get some basic parameters on each animal. They determine, is it a critical case? Do they just need warming up? Do they need some fluids? And then from there, our team can begin to prioritize and really manage the individual care of not just one animal, but possibly hundreds.
Tell me about the history of oiled birds and the rescue and how that really came about in general.
It's a fairly new field, and International Bird Rescue was there at the very beginning. It was 40 years ago, an oil spill in the Bay Area that really caused our organization to come into being. There was a lot of chaos, volunteers taking birds to different places. Nobody really had a sense of really how to do this work. And so a group of people came together to form our organization, and over the last 40 years have really developed and researched and really tried to understand how to have success with dealing with oil spills and oil wildlife. And fortunately now there's a lot more support. Certainly California as a state is probably more supportive of this work than any other state in the US. And that's really allowed organizations like ours and centers like this to exist. And the expertise from here now goes all over the world.
So what room do we have here?
So this is essentially a multi-purpose room. Remember, we could get hundreds of animals turn up at once. And so this is one of those rooms where if we needed to, we can crank up the heat, we can get literally hundreds of animals, in here, and at least beginning to get the kind of care they need.
Right.
In January, just this year, we had hundreds of pelicans come through in a period of about 5 weeks, and many of them who were cold, wet, hungry. This is where they first came, as we got them ready to move into the wash area, which is just a little bit further down this way.
Wow. And why is it important to wash the birds or wash the oil? You know, some people say, oh, it's natural, it doesn't matter. They've been cleaning themselves for throughout history. Why is it important to clean these, you know, quick and manually?
Well, from our point of view, really, you know, every bird matters, and these animals, certainly the animals that are affected by oil, it's really about human cause, and so for us, it's really that responsibility to respond to that, and certainly that expertise on a day-to-day basis, working with animals that may be very common, is the kind of expertise that then when you have a species that's threatened or endangered, like the African penguin when we were down in South Africa, then all of a sudden the skills that you've learned can really make the difference to the existence of a species of these animals.
So what type of birds do you get in here the most?
We get all sorts of aquatic birds, so birds that spend at least some of their time on water. We get 80 species, give or take, and I would say the brown pelican is probably the bird we see the most of.
Okay, right, with oil and just other basic injuries.
Yeah, fishing line injuries, other environmental issues that they come in for.
Yeah.
We get a lot of those. We've become very good at rescuing those birds over the years.
Right, right. And this room here is where they do the washing, you said?
Exactly. So any bird that is oiled or has other contamination on it will come through this room. They get a wash and a rinse.
So when you went down to New Orleans for the Gulf spill, what was really your main role, or what was your focus there when you guys went as a team?
Well, we were one of 2 bird rescue specialist organizations that were essentially contracted in by BP to really oversee the oiled bird rehabilitation. And so our team was actually spread over 4 states, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida. And so in each of those states, we were trying to build a facility that we were trying to make it look as best like this as we could from scratch, and then receiving animals and obviously doing what we do here down there.
Wow, so you were basically replicating this over there with your team, and I guess obviously training others locally to do the work.
Absolutely. So we're actually going to wash a bird right now, so let me show you how it's done.
We're going to wash a bird?
Yeah.
All right, nice, great.
My name is Julie Skoglin, and I am the Rehabilitation Manager here at International Bird Rescue San Pedro.
I'm Kylie. I'm a Rehabilitation Technician.
Hi, how you doing? I'm James. You guys are the bird washers?
Yes.
All right, great.
So we're just going to get them out of the cage, take their stuff off, and we'll start the wash.
All right. What bird do we have here today? Western grebe. Wow.
So we'll go ahead and get started.
So what's wrong with this guy?
So a lot of the pelagic birds that we get in that are at other centers for too long, they get secondary injuries. So because of the way that they're built, to sit like this so flat, their legs are especially vulnerable. So both of this bird has sores on both of his hocks. So we have special honey wraps that we're putting on those hocks to help granulation, so help them heal faster. And he's totally waterproof. This one was not oiled, but had trouble waterproofing, and so that's how we developed these.
Right. So I'll just sit with the honey wrap for a while on the feet, and that's it, or on the
hocks.
On his hocks.
Yep. So we have them for 3 days now. We've been putting on hawk wrap. So today is the last day, and we're going to evaluate how they look. And,
Okay, so that's the sore right there.
and that's the small one. So the other one's not.
Okay, so the honey acts like kind of an antibiotic, and it just heals up
Yep.
the sore.
Yep, because it's right at the joint. So that's joint infections. Birds and humans are really really bad. So it helps not only prevent infection, but then again, it promotes healing. So it helps it very much
So this guy is so lucky that you found him. I wonder about all the birds that don't get found that surely have these sores and
Right, and
problems.
and again is the one thing that we always try to communicate with people that don't specialize in these types of animals to get them to us, because we do specialize in taking care of these guys, because they require a lot of extra, very special care. You can see all the donut and everything that we, and the boobies and everything that we put on them to try to help prevent these types of injuries.
Yeah, surely. I mean, if I found the bird, I surely wouldn't think about a honey wrap on his foot,
Right.
so you guys know what you're doing. So what is he, he's getting a shot?
He's actually getting a really small blood sample taken, and this just helps us know how healthy he is. It gives us his red blood cell, and a very average for his red blood cells.
Oh yeah, I can see the blood coming out. So does that hurt the bird when you go into his hock?
There's a little vein right there, and that's what we're getting, and we want to keep the blood away from his feathers, because again, the feathers the blood acts as a contaminant.
Okay.
So
Wow,
that's why
that
we
is
take
wild.
it from the leg.
Uh-huh. So what do we got here, Paul?
This is the largest of our Pelican aviaries.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll show you inside.
Yeah, cool. These are brown pelicans?
This is where we keep brown pelicans and also other species that don't need to be in water all of the time. And we can have, 70 or 80 pelicans in here at one go. Fortunately, right now, we're pretty quiet. But let's
All
go
right.
inside and I'll show
Yeah,
you.
let's check it out. Oh, they got water and everything. This is cool.
Yeah, so we have these two pools that have constant flow of water. It's really important that that water is kept clean. Of course, we've just washed these birds. We don't want them to get dirty again.
Yeah.
And this is a reconditioning area. So they'll spend 4 or 5 days out here, eating well, getting their body weight back up, and essentially bathing. Like part of their return to the wild is actually they have to do their own work. We wash them, but they need to align their feathers. They comb them out. They know when there's still water getting in there.
Right.
That's what they do out here.
That's a brown pelican over there?
Yeah, it's an
That's
adult
huge.
brown pelican.
Yeah, it's
we have a
beautiful.
couple of gulls and a cormorant back there. As I said, these are these are the largest aviaries really dedicated to pelicans, and so many other organizations that rescue these animals or find them on beaches will bring them here. We're an end point for this because we really have the facilities designed for these animals.
Oh, thanks, Paul. I had a great time today. Thanks for showing me around.
Our pleasure. Thank you so
Great
much.
stuff. Right on. Thanks for watching this edition of Portfolio. For more information on the topics you saw today, just hit us up on our website, portoflosangeles.org.